Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wa bihamdihi. Alhamdulillah wa bihamdihi. DFDI LCWU is honored to start and conduct fourth session of the series of the trainings of our worthy resource person, Professor Dr. Gul Sadiq Afshan, a high-profile person, and I'm sure a person who thinks out of a box. And she is the professor of Milwaukee School of Engineering. Our today's topic is thinking out of a box as a teacher and as an administrator. I'm sure today's topic will cover, I am sure, two fields. Thinking critical as a teacher and innovation and bring something better in education system, and thinking different as an administrator. And these are the lines actually sent by the resource person, which displayed on the brochure. To think outside the box is to look further and to try not thinking of obvious things, but to try thinking of the things beyond them or other than beyond. And I really want to say thanks again to worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Busha Mirza, and Mass Communication Department, Professor Dr. Anjum Sia and Ahmed Saab. And now I would like to start Professor Dr. Gul Afshan to start the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice introduction, as always, Anjum. I'm very grateful. Welcome to all participants. Assalamu alaikum. I hope all of you are well. Today's workshop is a little different. So I'm going to go through some slides of mine with you. I will share my screen. I will go through a few slides, maybe 10 minutes. And after that, and during that, we will also have like a small game. And then all the names that have been sent to me, I have put them into different teams. You are divided into 3 teams. And I know it is very difficult to work on the screen, but we will try our best. So once I finish my slides, then I would like all of you to open your cameras so that we can all see each other and have a conversation, right? So if for example, if I'm in a classroom, then it is very easy. We give the handouts and we like talk back and forth, but on a screen it is difficult, but we will try our best. So you will be working with your team. And the teams have categories, and I will explain it to you a little bit in after my slides. Okay, so first I'm going to share my slides with you and go through a few slides with you. Are there any questions so far? Okay, and if you have not done your homework, don't worry about it. I will be just a little bit mad. Okay. Can you see my screen? Yes. My screen is up. Can you see my slides? Thumbs up?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So you all know that today's workshop is about thinking outside the box. As an educator or as an administrator, thinking outside the box always is a good thing, right? And for that, if we want to think outside the box, we need to have, so rules are the same, right? We talk on our turn, we make sure that we can talk in English, we can talk in Urdu, we can talk in Punjabi. So don't feel that you cannot ask a question or cannot give a comment. So you are not bound to only speak in English. That is perfectly fine, but be mindful of the time, and so that we all have a chance to participate. So first thing what I would like to do is I would like to show you the anonymous evaluations. So one of the things that I want to say to all of you, it is very important that you do the evaluations also after all the workshops. So this time I have evaluations done by only 12 people. And so it is a very small data point. I can show you the raw data. This is the raw data. And usually we say that evaluations are done by people either who are very happy or are very mad. And in between, all the people usually say, oh, it was fine. And then they don't do evaluations. So please do the evaluations, okay? It is very important. So I want to show you somebody who is very unhappy. This is number 4. So this is question number 1. So on the graphs, if you see, the first question is, how would you rate the usefulness of the content? And when somebody say number 4, so it's like, it was like just okay. And then it is a 4, it is a 3, not happy, not happy, not happy. And then no comments, no comments, no comments. So what happens is that now I know that somebody is very unhappy, but at the same time, I cannot help the person. But if you give comments, it will help me make myself better, and it will help me to address whatever your concern is. So do give the comments, okay? Then I show you somebody who is very happy. One, too fast, just right. So somebody is like between those things, but is honest. So I am very happy that, oh, there was a person for whom it was too fast, but then it was just right also. Somebody like the teaching method, but then there is no command and no comment. So that also does not help me, right? So if you're very happy or if you are very unhappy, try to put it into constructive, positive energy, and say it like honestly that, hey, Gul, this was very good. And this, if you do this or if you do that, you basically tell that how I can make it better, because it will help you and it will help me also. Okay. So overall, the results were still fine. People are happy. I see 70% of my class is happy, but this is a very small data point. It is like 13 people. It's 13 because one person actually came but never wrote anything. Maybe she or he got distracted, so they came in, so they were counted as 13, but they didn't write anything. They didn't fill out the evaluations. So please do the evaluations. Okay. This is very important, not only for me, for any workshop or seminar you attend. Actually, the way we are trained here in America is when you evaluate somebody else, you actually are evaluating yourself too, because you can only evaluate what you understand. So you basically are telling that how much you understood, right? How much attention you paid, how much you listened. So it helps you, and it also helps you to connect, right? Okay. And what is the objective of the workshop today? There's only one objective. Objective is that, can we learn how to think outside of a box, or the box that we say, right? So we will try that. So I want to start with a little bit of science today, okay? And what I'm going to tell you is that you and me are made up of about 60 to 100 trillion cells, depending upon my size and my height, right? We are about 60 to 100 trillion cells we are made up of. And these cells are basically divided into 200 different kinds of cells. So for example, let's start by thinking how many different kind of cells you can name. Hair cells, very different from teeth cell, very different from tongue, very different from eye cells, very different from nails, right? So I already like took few of the different kind of cells, right? Similarly, your liver cells are different from your heart cells. Your heart cells are different from your stomach cells, and so forth. So we are made up of different kind of cells. And for the mathematicians, if there are any mathematicians here, 100 trillion, right? one with 14 zeros, right? 14 zeros. So I hope that mathematicians are not angry with me. I hope I'm right, right? So, um, so each kind of cell has a very special shape. And this special shape is there because it does a different kind of work. I hope that my eye cells are very different from my heart cells because my heart function is totally different from my eye function, right? And this whole human being, or even bacteria or viruses, which are made up of cells, basically are run by a blueprint. And in humans, that blueprint is called DNA, right? And if you, and so I'm going to take you somewhere else now. Let's say that you and me have a project. And that project is that we are going to make a computer in our house today. So if we want to make a computer, what is the first thing we will do? We will sit down, write a list, and say, what are the parts that we need to make a computer? Then we will go out to a shop, and then we will start buying these components. What kind of components we will buy? You see, we will buy like these, sorry, I want to like catch a, I wanted to catch a pen. So if we go to, how about red today? So if we go to a shop, we will get some transistors, we will get some capacitors, we will get some resistors, some wires and things like that. Then we will start putting those things together. And for the lack of another good name, these in electrical systems, these are called logic gates. Okay, you don't have to memorize this name. Just know that we are putting a computer together. Then we take these pieces and we start connecting them together. When we connect them together, what we make is a circuit. And when we put that circuit into a beautiful box, voila, we have a computer. And what is the power of a computer is that I can write a letter on it, I can make images on it, I can give a PowerPoint talk. But the real power of a computer is that I actually am talking to you sitting 10,000 miles away from you. I am sitting in America, you're sitting in Pakistan, and we are talking as if we are in the same room. That's the networking, right? If we all are on the same page about this example that I gave you, so what I would like to tell you is that basically the nuts and bolts of human beings are DNA. I'm going to change this for a minute. Our DNA, RNA, proteins, and lipids. They're exactly like these transistors, capacitors, resistors. When we put them together and they start making some biochemical reactions together, that basically is equivalent to logic gates. And there are so many chemical reactions in you and me that when actually we put them in uh, separate drawers, separate places, they are called pathways. And these pathways in a cell is equivalent to a circuit. Now, if you take all these pathways and put in a skin, voila, you have a cell, you have a computer. The only difference is that this computer, the cell of which you and me are made up of, it is a much more advanced computer, very, very advanced, and it is very, very small, right? And it is important that we know that this DNA, which is a double-stranded DNA, this is the blueprint of you and me. That means as a mother, the only thing that I will give to my children is this DNA. So all children who are born, they take half the chromosomes from their mother and half the chromosomes from their father. And therefore, they look like either their mom or dad or their nana nani or dada dadi or some cousin, right? Because these are the same genes. So I would like you to look at this computer. This whole computer, the computer that I am working on, a computer, if it is in front of you, or if you have a um, iPhone or Android in your hand, right? It has a hardware, and hardware is its body. And that hardware, when you come to the cell, or when you come to the DNA, or when you come to the human, it's like my nose, or my eyes, or my skin, because it does look like my father or my mother, or little bit of both, or my grandparents from either side. That's my hardware. I cannot change it. I was born with it, and I will die with it, right? I have 5 fingers on my left hand. Short of like an accident that I lose a finger, the day I die, I will have 5 fingers. That's my hardware, just like a computer. But then this computer also has a software. And that software means that you download things on them in it, and that make the computer faster, or it makes the computer do these kind of things that I can do zoom on it, right? Because I have an app for that. So is there a software for you and me? Because I said that our nose and eyes and my hair and my skin, all that looks like my mom and dad. That is my hardware. That is your hardware too. It comes from your mom and dad. But what is our software, right? There is a software. So everything that we eat, drink, smoke, snuff, makeup we put on ourselves, dye we put in our hair, everything that get absorbed through the skin or we put in ourselves actually actively is a download, and it changes our DNA every single day. Every single day. So if you think bad, if you think sad, if you think happy, if you are jealous, if you are um, not kind to other people, all that also is part of your DNA that you will give to the next generation. So to make a point with you that the butterflies, they migrate. Titliyan, they migrate. But they basically die halfway. And the new generation, which is born, it keeps the journey, keep going the same place where their parents were going, and then they die, and then the third generation finish the migration. So the DNA not only has our blueprint, the hard copy of everything, it also has the software. It also has the soft copy of everything that we learn, right? And therefore, it is very important responsibility that we choose to be smarter and better human beings, so that we are giving that DNA to the next generation. So it seems like far-fetched, and it seems um, like sci-fi, but it is not sci-fi. It is all real. So it is part of the genomics, it parts of the biotechnology. We teach it here now, and it is proven. I can show you pictures which they have, and videos and movies which show that DNA changes because of our emotions also, and how we act. Okay. So with that said, that should be the backdrop. That should be on your mind, right? What I would like you to, anybody, anyone from you, when I say thinking outside the box, or anybody say thinking outside the box, what is the box? What do you think is the box?
Your boundaries.
within
Okay.
which you would like to think about your culture, your environment, and your settings in which you are living in, or working in, or thinking of. Like I am living in Lahore, I will work accordingly. The environment of Lahore, the culture of Lahore, working in LCW, I have to go by the rules and regulation and discipline of LCW. But it's not always like that. At times, we have to do something which is not usually a part of our life, a part of our thinking. Depends. So depend करता है if it's an educational thing, it's a personal thing, or it's a cultural thing. At times you have to think other way, the way you're not thinking before. जो आप आज सोच रहे हैं, जैसा आप फील कर रहे हैं, सोच रहे हैं, मेनली आप सोच रहे हैं. It's basically your thinking which affect everything, your environment and your culture. So you have to think upside down at times or differently at times. Basically जब भी आप अपनी एक पैटर्न से, मेंटल पैटर्न से हट के सोचते हैं, that is something which is out of the box. जैसे orthodox या अगर आप कहें कि conservative people start thinking something liberal. Liberal means they want to change things. Conservative means you have to go with the pattern of the go with the जो भी आपकी routine है, go with the motion. So that was something which is said to be conservative. But when you decide that you have to change the pattern, simply if you want to change your daily access to work, the way you want to approach your work, or the road you're taking to your work, you just want to take another way to reach your work at that day. This is something which you're doing out of your box.
Good. So
Assalamualaikum.
अपने आप को
Ma'am,
introduce
can I
कीजिए,
say?
please.
Ma'am, can I say?
I'm about from political science department.
Simon Bhatt, thank you so much. So I couldn't have said it better. So it is basically the learned behavior, right? And then after that, it does not matter what it is. So once you have the learned behavior, it can come from religion, it can come from tradition, it can come from the city, it can come from the workplace, it can come from your home environment, right? So we know that children who are abused, by their parents, they lose the trust on rest of the world also, right? Because parents were supposed to give that trust to them, right? And so whatever is that learned behavior, whatever those restraints are on us, what happens is that we lose the boxes when we lose this fact, thinking that something is possible. And all we think about is that how it is not possible, right? There are many, many examples for that. So so I put this line there very specifically, that when your limitations loom larger than perceived possibilities, right? So I very selectively choose these words, that you think that this is not possible. We diminish our ability to solve the challenges and our creativity goes down, right? Saima, I will take your question in a minute. Okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, I will have take it. So what I would like you to do is, please do not open the Google or anything like that. I've given you a simple picture. I want you to connect these 9 dots, make these 9 dots on a piece of paper for yourself. And you know that you can connect these dots. But I want you to connect all of these dots in 4 lines. Only in 4 lines. And you are going to touch every one of them 1 time. Okay, all dots are going to be touched once.
Central dot is not touched. The center dot is not touched, I think so.
No, it will be touched. Just try. So I'll give you about 30 to 45 seconds. And if you want to open your camera and show me that what is it that you have tried so far, that will be nice.
I'm unable.
So inability is not a problem at all. We are in this together. Okay, Anjum?
I have 5 lines if I'm covering the
Assalamualaikum.
all the prompts.
Walaikum assalam, Sadia.
Uh,
How are you doing?
if we make 3 vertical lines and 1 horizontal one,
Okay.
then
Show
we
me.
can touch the 4
You have to show me.
lines.
I don't know. Show me.
Actually, I don't know how to show you, but I am just telling you that.
So turn
No,
around your
no,
notebook and
just show your paper. Just
show
on your
paper.
camera and show your paper. Like this,
Okay.
Show in front of the camera. Yeah.
like this.
Exactly like that. Yeah. So Saima, your background is blurred, so that's why you won't be able to. When the background is blurred, you know, it hides it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm the purpose is not that who did it and who did not. That's not the purpose. The purpose is that when we think about like the learned behaviors, our learned behavior is start from a corner, isn't it? We always were taught this. यहाँ से शुरू करके यहाँ चले जाओ, यहाँ से शुरू करके यहाँ चले जाओ, right? So the first instinct will be 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So that's why Anjum was saying that the 4 lines, the middle one, I cannot do it. I cannot do the middle one, right? So I want to show you, right? So make a list of any assumptions. So one of the assumption is what? One assumption is that we start from the corner. That is one assumption, right? Or assumption is we start from the middle. So think different. If you want to think different, what you will see is that basically—
Can you see my camera? Excuse me.
Yes.
No, I can't. Sorry. I can see you, but you're too close. You're too close. So if you cannot see it on your camera, then I cannot see.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I can only see your hand.
Can I ask something?
Okay, so
Hello?
let's finish this, then we are going to go. So what I want to show you is that if you start from those 2 dots and go out of the design, then you turn and touch the other 2. And then you turn from there and turn again.
Yes.
And it's 4 lines, right? So thinking out of the box does not come natural, because we human beings have been taught 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 1 is 3, and we have learned like that, right? So in order to be imaginative and think out of the box, we have to kind of go away from our sometimes whatever we have learned and unlearn it. And that is not necessarily a bad thing, right?
Yes.
So now I'm going to bring some examples, and some of them, you know, it is possible that some of you are different in opinion from me. That does not mean that you are wrong or I am wrong. So we started by where? We started by listening carefully, right? Of first workshops, first or second workshop, we need to listen. Then we need to give other person a chance to bring in their diversity, and we need to include their thoughts. We need to include their comments, right? And then we need to analyze what is all that I know and then present it, right? So now, so Simon talked, so we have to take another participant now. What do you think? What is Eid al-Zuha about? So I was thinking about some kind of a tradition, and Eid al-Zuha is coming, right? Eid al-Fitr went, and now Eid al-Zuha is coming. in one line, in 1 or 2 lines, not more than that, what do you think Eid al-Zuha is?
It's about obedience and sacrifice.
Okay. Anybody else?
It's about the concept of sacrifice and the tolerance among the Muslims.
Okay.
It's about to obey Allah's order.
Okay. What else?
Practice to sacrifice the last one thing.
Okay.
It's a fun game for children when goats come into the house and they play all the day.
Okay. What else?
It's about sacrificing something for Allah.
Okay. Next.
Sacrifice and sharing.
Okay. What else?
Ignore yourself for sacrifice.
Okay.
Unconditional obedience.
Okay.
It's about a lot of garbage at home. It's about mopping the floor again and again, and it's about cleaning the home again and again.
Very good.
It's
Okay.
about blind love,
Okay.
blind faith.
Okay.
Surrender yourself to God.
Okay. So that's great. How about I show you a different side of it? How about the dialogue between the father and the son? So there was a very important dialogue that happened between Ibrahim and Ismail. And we never talk about that dialogue because our learned behavior is that it is about the sacrifice. Sacrifice never happened. There was an animal. But we remember the sacrifice, but we have forgotten the dialogue. Because in the place where we live, sometimes that dialogue never come into conversation. So think about it. Think about that. What did Ibrahim said to Ismail and what did Ismail said in return? It is hardly ever being discussed anywhere. Sacrifice came much after that, right? So I just want to show you that do not forget all corners of a simple statement, right? Okay, next. What will you do when you have a flat tire on a highway or in a very congested popular bazaar? You are alone, you were driving, the tire is out. What are you going to do? Go.
I will change the tire.
Stepney,
Do it myself.
take the tire. I'll use a stepney inside my car and I'll take the car.
You don't have to tell me how. You don't have to tell me how. Just 1 or 2 lines. You said you will change the tire. Good. That's awesome.
Yes.
Next.
Will call somebody for help.
Okay, good. 3. Go.
Thank God that I'm aware that it is flat now.
Okay. Okay. That's good. You will say a dua. That's fine. 4.
Yes.
Sakib, go ahead. You don't have to put your hand up. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Dr. Sabha, whenever it happened to me, I usually, first of all, take my car aside and try कि मैं किसी का रास्ता ना रोकूं और पहले उसको साइड पे करूं ताकि
Okay, good.
population
Good.
चलती रहे.
Just tell me, what will you do about the tire?
Yes, obviously, I have arranged a stepney or extra tire.
You'll change the tire. Okay. 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 Next. Tell me another solution. Somebody said we'll change the tire, right? 2, 3 people said. Somebody said I'll call someone. Yeah. Somebody said I'll say a dua that, at least I know now that the tire, nothing happened bad. What else? What is another solution for this?
I will call a cab and drive.
Call a cab and go wherever you need to go.
Yeah.
Fine. That's okay. Good. Next.
At times when a lady is in need, people offer their help. And,
so you will take the help. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Next.
I will put it, I will park it aside and then go shopping.
Okay. Okay, good.
Enjoy.
Okay.
Actually, doctor,
Okay. You are saying you will deal with it later. Okay.
car is flat, but car is not stopped. So I keep moving till I reach the point where I can get the help.
Okay. All right. So,
And I did
so
that.
what I want you to now take a step back and think about all of these solutions. Basically, all of these are the solutions, but none of them is the best solution, because not every time when something happens, the best solution is not always to change the tire or not change the tire. It changes with the what your environment is, right? So like Sakib said, and somebody else said that they will change the tire. Maybe they know how to change the tire. The environment is right, it is not raining, and they know how to change the tire, they will change the tire. That is the best solution for them. But for somebody who does not know how to change the tire, maybe the best solution is to call dad or call a friend or call somebody who can. I don't know if in Pakistan there are AAA services or not that who come and change your tire. You can call a service to change. Somebody said, I will keep driving on that tire and until I reach a gas station or something. That is a perfectly good solution. So you see, what happens is every problem has multiple solutions. Multiple solutions. What is your solution may not be my solution, but nevertheless, it is a solution. And we always have to look at what is the best solution at that particular time. And what is the solution today? It may not be the solution tomorrow either. So that is one of the components to think out of the box also, right? So we have to like think through multiple solutions. Okay, I'm going to go next. And this is a question for anybody who has never traveled internationally or nationally alone. Why have you not traveled internationally or nationally alone? Go. Rifat, I can see you. You go.
Sometimes we need company, and we need such a companion.
No, no. Why have you not traveled internationally or nationally alone?
I do. I actually travel a lot.
Okay, sorry, Rifat, then you cannot answer that one.
Okay.
Okay. People who have not traveled alone yet, why have you not traveled internationally or nationally alone?
I think it is about box. It is about our thinking. Somebody feels they shouldn't not travel alone because they want some such companion who
But
guide
why?
them.
Yeah, but why do people want companion? Think harder.
Sometimes because of religious reasons and sometimes because of societal reasons.
Okay, agreed.
But also because they are afraid of traveling alone.
Okay. Okay.
I would like to add that sometimes we may feel fear about their language, their environment, their culture, and their rules and regulation about their
Yes. Okay.
rotation
The
and
tradition,
travel.
right? So the tradition is that girls should not move alone, right? Then we take a step back. Why do we have that tradition that girls should not move alone?
Islam imposes that a woman should not travel alone.
Does it?
Families think that
Does it?
women should not travel
There
alone.
is
And
no such thing.
No, it does not.
There isn't. It's traditional. It is very much learned behavior that we somehow will be hurt, or we should not do that. This is not our right. So we should like think about these things in a bigger aspect. Think out of the box, that why you are not, and I put travel there just for, if we can change it by any other verb. Why have you not published a paper yet? Why have you not applied for a grant? Why have you not, you know did so and so? We can change it with any verb. So basically there are a lot of restrictions sometimes in the society, or traditionally they are put there because many societies have this gender differences. And for that brings my next one: husbands cooking for the family or changing diapers. Why in many families husbands or brothers never cook, or never change a diaper, or never do anything to help? And why those things are supposed to be only women's job? Why do you think that is?
Because we don't create opportunities for them to do that.
Social mindset.
Good. So you very quickly, 3 or 4 very good answers came. Social mindset, tradition. They do not think that it is their job, and things like that. All those 3 that you just said, they are also applicable on number 3. They are also applicable there too. But because this was like from the opposite gender, you quickly can see it. You can see it better. But sometimes what is happening to you, you can't see it better. So think again, why women don't travel alone, but men can, right?
Because we are brought up in such a manner.
Right. It's the tradition. It's like not because you are less capable, right? That's where
Yes.
I'm getting. You are capable of doing doctorates, masters, teaching. You're capable of doing very, very smart decisions. What, you can't go from point A to point B? Because it's a learned behavior. Because you can, right? Similarly, husbands and new generation is very different. So they are cooking at home, they are helping. Why are there not stay-home fathers? There are stay-home fathers all over the world. While the woman is working, father is stay home, just like mother is stay home, like in the older generations. So those kind of things, we have to rethink them. Okay. So can you give me an example of a learned behavior that should be unlearned in Pakistan, in your family, or at your workplace? You can choose any. Just give me one single line of an example of a learned behavior that you think. And it is not easy. It's not easy because a lot of times when we ask somebody, what is your learned behavior? People usually think that, oh, I am being attacked. Nobody is attacked, because I have learned behaviors too. People have learned behaviors in America also. People have learned behaviors all over the world, which are right and wrong, right? So think about a learned behavior that you think that should be unlearned in Pakistan, or in your family, or at your workplace.
And I believe, sorry, ma'am, I believe it is about self-inflicted restraints that should be unlearned.
Okay, that's a great answer. Self-restricted restraints that we should unlearn. Okay, that's a great answer. Let's keep going.
Sometimes we have the transition or the change in policies, or we have to do many changes in curriculum as well as grading, or in many other things. So we change our behavior from learn to unlearn by changing everything, because we have to face the challenge and to do everything according to the institutional policies.
New policy, right? I agree. I agree.
The belief that the boss is always right.
Very good. Yes, that has to be absolutely unlearned. Yes, because we are all one, because we are a team. So there should be no concept of boss. There should be a concept of leadership. Leadership can be wrong. Leadership can be right. But there is no leadership without followers, and there are no followers without leadership. So it should be a mutual decision. Mutual decisions are the best decisions. But you should not always be fighting with your boss just for fighting also, right? But this thing that boss is always right, it should be completely unlearned. I completely agree with you, and that is true all over the world. It's a good practice. Okay, next.
In our
No.
in our
Learn to say
society, in
no.
our family, at our workplace, we have some rights, we have some duties.
Yes, I agree. We all have some rights and we all have responsibilities. Yes.
Learn to say no and unlearn to say yes always.
Okay. Learning to say no such that you are overwhelmed with a lot of things, that is a good thing. We should unlearn that always to say yes. I agree. Few more. Okay, I'm going to move then. So here are some of the characteristics which can help you thinking outside of the box. Study how others do it. Always read a book, travel, talk to colleagues in the same field, and talk to colleagues outside of your field. That will every day, easy learn, make you smarter. When you're smarter, you can learn better. So even in my curriculum, in my syllabi, I always write on the side to all my students and to my colleagues. Right now I'm your colleague. Always read few pages of a book that is not part of what you teach. So I teach biotechnology, genomics, epigenomics and biotech, but I will read something on politics. I will read something on economics, right? Something, a novel that help me relax. And I also learn something that is not my um, expertise. So I learned something outside of that world. And I always tell all my students and colleagues that it's a good habit. Traveling also help you learn about other cultures. And it also helps you learn about other religions. It improves your patience. It tells you that how people have many of the same traditions and how people are not very different from us. And it makes us better professionals and better human beings. So as a small example, I did not know Quran until I read it with tarjuma. And then I came to know that one of the longest chapter, Quran has some long chapters and some short chapters. One of the longest chapter in Quran is about Maryam, Christ's mother. While in Bible that Maryam is not given much importance. But we are not taught that. And then there are stories which are in Bible and Quran. They're common stories. And you don't have to believe me at all. All you have to do is go back and open Quran and open Bible. And you will see the same story is there. Hazrat Yusuf's story, his 7 brothers put him um, uh, in the well. Jackal blood shirt brought it home. That story is in both books. So it widens your horizon. If you would like to think outside of the box, we have to be smarter and we have to be inclusive about minorities also, not only Christians, but all minorities. Involve in LLL. LLL stands for lifelong learning. Take a class, same problem, multiple solutions. We just did that. if the tire punctures, it's like different for everybody. People will do things which best suits them. Multiple solutions is the key, and then figure out what is best for you. And new ways of looking at aspects always come with LLL. Just because somebody has a PhD does not necessarily be smarter in everything than somebody who doesn't have a PhD. And one of the things that we learn is ask a child. I have put actually one of those here. Ask a child. They will always give you a very honest opinion, right? So turn it upside down. Somebody today said it in the conversation earlier, that I think it was Saima, but if it was not Saima, please forgive me. That turn something upside down or inside out, it's a different perspective, right? So that is very important that we do that. Then work backwards is really works. So find out what is most important for you in your life. What is your goal? What do you want your mind to set up, and how are you going to reach there? Who is going to help you? How many people you need to help you, and how many resources do you need? And work backwards that what the plan is going to be. Organic chemistry, mathematics, all of these things teach us that already, that sometimes we can work backwards and see that if our answer is correct. In organic chemistry, all the time we start that what product we want, and we work backwards that where it started, right? So they actually call backward reactions. So consult someone younger, even a child. It is amazing that how honestly somebody who does not have the perspective of your problem can help you. So, and this also breaks the ego. If we want to think outside of the box, the first thing we have to do is let the ego go. And one of the example is that in America, one of the good practices which is done in many schools, not all schools, but in many schools, many teachers now give the right to the students that they can call us by our first name. They cannot cross the line of respect. But students call me Dr. Gul, Dr. Afshan, just Gul, Dr. G, just Miss Afshan. They call me by, and then I make a joke that you don't call me names, but you can call me by my first name because that's the name my mother and father gave me. Doctor is my degree. Doctorate is my degree. I earned it. So how will you feel if I start calling you student so and so, clerk so and so, secretary so and so? We don't, right? So the ego has to go, right? Because you have already proved you are there. You already proved that you are smart. Then if you will have the ego, it will be a curtain and you will not learn anything. You don't learn anything more. You won't think outside of the box. You will just keep thinking in straight tunnel vision, right? So embrace your mistakes. Say sorry, that I'm sorry, I did a mistake, my fault. Let's figure this out. And that will help you being a better teacher, better human being also. And practice democracy. Speak, practice, and fight for democracy. Democracy is important, right? Rotations are important. In your class, practice democracy, right? And one of the example I will give you is that when I got your names, I put them in an Excel sheet. I take the doctor off of all names. And now they are just names for me, last name first, and I arrange them in alphabetical order. Basically, I ask the Excel to arrange it for me in alphabetical order. Now, all of you, for me, are like Saima and Saqib and Rifat and Hafiza or Anjum. Doesn't matter which department you are, doesn't matter 20 years of service or 2 years of service, because brilliant ideas can come from any of the people, Doesn't matter if somebody has 30 years of experience. A brilliant idea can come from somebody who just walked into LCWU and she's like, or he is very scared and say, oh, may I say something? And they have the most brilliant idea ever. But we are like, also is a learned behavior that somebody who is for 30 years on the job is smarter than somebody who is 2 years at job. That's not the case, right? So thinking out of the box is not easy because we have to break a lot of traditions and ego issues for all of us, including me, myself, right? And so we are going to go into discussion now. And for that, the rules are as follows. So because eventually we will go into ESL also, right? So which is English as a second language. So one thing that I would like to teach you today is that we should learn how to talk. We say sometimes, because there's a big meeting, everybody has to introduce themselves. So we say, introduce yourself in 2 breaths. And 2 breaths actually mean 2 breaths. So introduce yourself and your department in 1 breath. I'm going to do that for you as an example. My name is Gul Afshan, and I'm from biomolecular engineering, working at MSOE. Done. No more than that. Unless somebody said, oh, wait, what is biomolecular engineering? And then I say something about that. And in the entire world, that thing is really valued for you. It is valued that you really were listening and you did it in 1 breath. If you are taking another breath and you're saying, and you already break the rule. If you have figured out your personality, tell us what it is in 1 breath. That was your homework. And if you have not done it, that is perfectly fine. You know, Anjum is a great advocate. She talked to me and said, Gul, don't get angry at us if we didn't do the homework, you know. So I did my personality, and I will tell you in 1 breath. My personality was entertainer. That was my personality. And I'm very generous with my time and energy. That was my good part. And I'm very, very sensitive. I get hurt when people hurt me. That was my bad part. How does your personality fit for the mission and vision of LCWU? So for me, it is MSOE. So in 3rd breath, which means I need to absolutely know my mission and vision if I want to answer in 1 breath. So my mission, I know I produce pragmatic students. They're placed like this. They're all placed, 100% placement. Who or what can help you the most? The person I'm direct report to. That's my answer. Does this example help? Because now you all are going to do that so that we can have a face to the name, and then we can go into a discussion. And before I go there, Saima, your hand is up, and Dr. Saqib, your hand is up. Is there a question that I can answer before we go further?
I think it is older hand.
Okay, it's an older.
Raised earlier.
That's fine. And Saima, is it an older hand for you too? Okay, so first, I need a volunteer, anybody, who actually tells me what is the LCWU vision and mission. In a very short and crisp way. Think that you have met me in an elevator, and we are going from 4th floor to 10th floor. That's all the time we have. Okay. And I say, hey, what is the LCWU vision and mission? What will you say? What will you say to me?
Well, may I speak?
Yes, Rifat, please. You don't have to ask my permission. Please speak.
Okay. The aim and objective, if we talk about, is the entrepreneur women, because it's exclusively a women's university. So we have to focus on that, how we can make our women to be a successful entrepreneur. And
That's awesome.
second, equality, because we lead to an idea that we treat every um, um, uh, so there is no sexism actually, and we treat every sex with an equal manner. So no, the concept of minority among the students and faculty. So this
Okay,
is what I have.
okay, that's awesome. So you told me a lot actually. So entrepreneurship for women, which means making independent, pragmatic, placeable women, right? And then you said equity, right? Gender equity. Okay. Or and minority also.
Sorry, no gender equality, because we are exclusively women.
No gender. No, sorry, my mistake. Yes.
So no concept of minority among the students and faculty.
Right. Racial or religious equity.
Yes, yes, you may say.
Okay, awesome. Okay, anybody else?
And there is an academic excellence which we aspire for in LCW.
Academic excellence. Okay. What else?
I mean, grooming as well. We need to
quality education to women, so
Quality
that they
education
can
for women.
empower themselves.
So,
to empower themselves, to them.
So what
To
I'm
empower
hearing,
them.
so what
prepare
I'm
well-groomed, skilled generation to take care of nation.
okay. So this is what I saw. Okay, this is your vision. That is now what I saw. So let's have a read on that. LCWU aspires to be a leading teaching and research university, which is recognized nationally and globally as a hub of the academic excellence. So somebody said academic excellence, producing highly skilled professionals, empowered, well-groomed, and values-driven women leaders to contribute positively, which is Rifat was saying, to the socioeconomic development of Pakistan. So entrepreneurship or any kind of jobs is the socioeconomical development of Pakistan. So that means there are many people in this group who do know the vision of LCWU. That is outstanding. And then this is your mission. That is your current mission. There are few different places it is written, but I think this is the current one. So one of them is that providing quality, accessible education to produce empowered and creative women leaders, right? So it comes back. And if you're an entrepreneur or a CEO, you definitely are a leader. So that is like a one way of going into it. So now that we have seen all of that, I'm going back to this slide. And in this slide, each one of us, please open your cameras, please come on. And if Ahmad, if you are there, can you give us a gallery view, please? So that we all can see each other. Ahmad, can you give us a gallery view, please? I can see many of them now, but it's not a gallery view still. Okay, let's see. Okay, so who wants to start? Introduce yourself in one breath, your name and department. If you have figured out your personality, tell us what it is. If it is not, that's okay. Tell how your personality fits at LCWU in one breath, and who or what can help you the most.
My name is Rifa Safdar. I am from Bureau's department, and by personality, I'm an active person. That is why basically I am engaged in so many things, and most of the time dished by many people. My mission towards LCWU is to give prosperity to my department that is sometimes becomes undershadowed and it's not being properly addressed with its complete values. and I can help my university for being an active member towards my specialization, which I can return back to my department.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi. Can you open
Ji,
your
I am
camera,
Dr.
please? Can all of you open your cameras, please? And leave them open. It's wonderful to have a face to a name. And I know that it might be a little bit of like scary feeling, but you look beautiful. Okay. Saqib, you go. You are muted. Saqib, you're muted.
I'm Saqib Rahman, and the test that was given by you, from that test, I got the protagonist, yes, the personality. And yes, I have read the core values, I have read the LCW. I fit myself in all the values because I was already, before joining the LCWU, I was a bigger acceptor of the women empowerment and the gender equality. So I was already working on those principles. But in LCWU, I believe that I would be finding the better chance to do the best for the women empowerment, inshallah.
Okay. Saira, go. Saira Taj, please go.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Saira Taj, and I am from STEM department, Faculty of Education. And I am a very sensitive person, and I am not very action oriented. These are my weaknesses, what I think. Or and I am a kind of what I think that I am an inborn artist, or I'm.
Who can help you?
I am a good planner, but actually I am not very action oriented.
Okay, good planner. So if you're a good planner, who is the person or who can help you most at LCWU?
Some of my colleagues help me.
Okay.
We all work together and share our ideas with each other.
Okay.
In this way, yes, we usually help each other.
Okay, Simon, go please. Saira, can you open your open your camera so that I can see you, please?
I have a problem in my camera.
Okay, no, you look beautiful. There's no problem. You look great. Okay.
I am Dr. Saima Farooq from Islamic Studies Department. I have a great sense of research, and I want to reach my department and my university with new ideas, and want to reach my students with deep research, with deep thinking.
Okay.
And my VC and my colleagues who are sincere with me can help me.
Okay. Okay. Farhat Aziz, please go.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Farhat Aziz, and I am working here as an associate professor. And my personality type is to facilitate the students as well as faculty. I love to work in the teams, and I want to align my mission statement with the vision of the LCWU. And I have the ideas of different team working, as well as to do different sort of activities in the class, activity based teaching basically. And I want to align all these things with the research, and to give the idea to the student about the depth of the knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Ruhina, you want to go?
am from biotechnology department. My personality is concerned. Yeah, I want to work with my colleagues, which help me lot for performing any duty or any planning any event or any other things. I would help. I work with the student with listening, helping the students, and all other things which they require.
Wow, you actually did it in 4 breaths. Mashallah. Neelma, go.
My name is Dr. Neelma Munir. I'm from Biotechnology Department. My personality type is protectionist, and I have read there that they are natural leaders. One thing that was really new for me, that protagonists they can inspire others to achieve and to do good in the world. So I think this is my personality type, and I always enjoy guiding the students. I was really surprised to see that they identified me as what I am, and this is my role in NCWU. I have been facilitator of active citizen program, and I think that I have given my full potential in that as well.
Who can help you?
Besides teaching, I think
who can help you most?
So besides teaching, I think yes, my higher ups, if they have seen this potential in me and they want to utilize it, then definitely I'm there, and it's up to them that how they can utilize my potential.
Okay.
My head of the department, higher up, all the administration in university, if they want to utilize, then I'm there.
Okay, Asifa Kamal.
I am Asifa Kamal from Statistics Department, and as far as my vision is aligned with the Lahore College for Women University's vision, because I want my students to empower them so that they can do and create capabilities in them so that they can do data analysis and they can become a successful data scientist. And I have not done the homework, unfortunately, so I can't assess my personality.
That's fine, Asifa. That's
Thank
fine. This is wonderful.
Can I go next?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
I'm Dr. Huma Tausif, Associate Professor, Computer Science Department. My personality also came out to be as a protagonist. And I was also surprised that it judged me so correctly. And it says that everything I do ripples outwards and affects everyone. So always I try to ripple positivity in my students. And I love seeing them grow up. And I really celebrate their achievements and I feel proud of their achievements. And I always try that I should inspire them in a positive manner to achieve goals, set their goals and then achieve them in a positive manner. So this is how I align myself. I want to be an example for my students and my peers so they look up to me, and they should also be positive members of the society as well as LCWU.
Wonderful. So
can I say some, can I contribute as well, please?
Yes, of course.
I'm sorry if I missed my turn because there was some internet issues going on. I am Sumaira Noreen from History Department. I have done 75% of my homework, I should be honest. The personality type that I have is assertive advocate with the role of a diplomat and strategy of a confident individualism. As far as strengths are concerned, being an assertive advocate, I am creative, insightful, principled, passionate, and altruistic. and as far as weaknesses are concerned, which are very rightly assessed in my personality type here, I must confess, is perfectionistic, reluctant to open up, sensitive to criticism, avoiding the ordinary, and prone to burnout. I think all of these have worked for me many times. How can I be useful for my department? It certainly has got to do something with the students and with my faculty colleagues, as I had also mentioned in one of our previous sessions. I personally believe in academic excellence. If academic excellence is not there, then all the vision that we have about LCW won't be complete. So with academic excellence certainly comes the grooming aspect. If we are good human beings, only then we can be good academics or professionals. Who can help me most? Certainly it is everyone because I have got multiple tasks. So being a teacher, I can do best when my students are able to understand me and I am able to understand them. When it comes to run the department, certainly I can run the department effectively when my faculty colleagues are there to help me out. When it comes to implement decisions, certainly my immediate boss and certainly the vice chancellor are the right persons who can help me out in terms of gaining the desired outputs for our department and the university in the long run.
So Vera, I'm so grateful that you actively asked to speak, because I thought I might not hear it from anybody today that everybody can help me. You just answered that question. I very specifically put that question there, that who can help you? And the answer is everybody. That's the answer. Everyone, because
I'm a little greedy in that. I need everyone on board.
That exercise also, there are multiple solutions to the same problem, and not one solution is the best solution, because in different times there are different solutions. So there might be a secretary in your department who might be very helpful to you, and you learn something from her and or him, and they might be a very crucial person at that time. And other times VC Sahiba might be the most crucial person. Another time the person you direct report to, like your chair, or person who's your brand new assistant professor, a person who has 30 years of experience at LCW, you might need her help or his help at that time. So basically we all can be helpful to each other, right? And another thing that I would like to say to all of you is that what I am hearing from all of you, your personality types, and the honesty that I didn't do the homework, or the honesty that I did only 75% of the homework, or the fact that the capabilities, what I am hearing, I see an extremely good team sitting here. Extremely good team. Not every place has more diversity there is in characteristics, more diversity there is in skill sets, stronger is the team. Now the only difficult part is how this team gels together. Teams gels together, then they stand together, right? So if there is no interdisciplinary projects, if there is no experiential learning from each other, and it has not made that way into the classroom, then that's the easy part, because the difficult part you guys are doing. You know what is the most difficult part? To hire highly qualified, very good skill set faculty members. You're already there. So you are there already. Hard part is being done. Now is the easy part. So yes, we are bound in tradition. Every culture is. We are bound in limitations. Every institution is. We are bound in, please forgive me, workplace politics. Every place has it. Now we have to know how to deal with that, right? How we can use the best of the things together and think out of the box and work together, right? Because the hard part is already being done. So if I hear that, oh, I never finished my master's, I am still like working on it, there's nothing wrong with that also. But if there is a lot of like undergrads still there and a lot of non-doctorates are there, that's a different problem, right? So here there are a lot of very smart people under one roof, right? So now we have to see how to bring them together. So one of the slides that I made, can you still see my screen or not? Can you guys see still see my screen? No? Yes? So Ahmed, can you give me, oh, I can share it again. I can share it. So if you see my screen, so my next slide basically is to take you so that we can go to figure out the teams. So let's say that workplace politics is in the way of the progress. This is, I completely made it up. I am not saying all places have workplace politics, small, big, like that. So I'm not saying that LCWU has it, because I give the talk to many other universities also. So let's say that workplace politics is in the way of the progress. So first we have to find out the why. A few common factors are always there. Some departments have no politics. Some departments do. So then we have to learn from where? We have to learn from the departments which do not have the politics. And that can only happen when you talk, when you get to know them. Is there a consortium, for example, at LCWU, where all the chairs share good practices? Is there a consortium for all directors, where all the directors should meet once a month for a cup of tea out of the school time and share all the good practices? You will be amazed how much you learn from your next door neighbor, and you're like, oh my God, you were doing this? I didn't know that. I can take it to my classroom. I can take it to my department. So how do we resolve that, right? So I just put 4 solutions here, bad ones and good ones. There's a solution. You make zero tolerance written policy that anybody who will take part in these kind of workplace politics, 3 strikes and you're out. You lose your job. It's a solution. It's not a great solution. It's a bad solution, but it's a solution. You put workplace accountability. You only focus on people's good skill sets and results. What are the results they are producing? Every quarter, at the end of the year, in entire America, in entire Europe, there is a brag sheet, or there is like some form of that I am evaluated. I'm evaluated by my students. I'm evaluated by my colleagues, assistant professors, associate professors. Am I a good mentor? Am I a good leader? I am also, when I was not a full professor, I was also evaluated by full professors that if I am a good colleague, if I'm a good subordinate, if I'm a team player. So accountability, personnel training. So that is very important. Many times people are doing things because they don't know that they are doing it. So we need to first train them and then hold them accountable. So I kind of very deliberately put bad, then less bad, then good, then very good. So equal opportunities is the best solution. Are all assistant professors in your department have the equal opportunity to go and attend a meeting in Murray, Nathiagali, where they can take one day off and let their hair down and relax and also learn something and come back and also like present a paper together as a team. If you have done that, you're a great leader. If you have not, think about doing it. If you have been in the way of an associate professor not becoming a full professor, you are not a good mentor. It doesn't matter which country we are sitting in. America, England, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, does not matter. You still do not categorize as a good mentor or as a good senior. But if you are that professor who have empowered an associate professor or an assistant professor and tell her or him, let me show you the way, let me set you up for success, you're already giving the equal opportunity. You are basically making your fan club. You're making your fan club. You're making a club. They will be your biggest fans. Every place they go, they will talk about you. That so and so, Rifat talked to me and she told me about that grant. I applied for that grant. Oh my God, I got it. Anjum talked to me, she told me about this like place where I can go and ask for like a special scholarship for my class to go on a trip. I got that. Oh my God, Anjum did it for me. You won't have to do anything for your own advertisement. You will be talk of the town by yourself. Like it will happen automatically, right? So what we need to do here is, so I have a practice for you. So I put you into teams, okay? And I'm sorry if your name is not there, because as the names come, Anjum and me were trying very hard to put them, but I am so sorry if your name is not there. That does not mean you are not in the team, right? We are all on the same side. But if you see your name here, what we want to do is that if you are Rohina, Shahida, Samra, Asifa, Rashida, Saima, Rifat, Tahira, or Rahat, all I did was I put them in alphabetical order, last name. You have to ID a problem at LCWU. ID any problem, one problem. Then this is the resolution team. So these people, if your name is here, you come up with a resolution for that problem. And if you are in team number 3 here, and I will put more and more names, you are going to tell how can we make this resolution that is given by team 2 work. And you see how very deliberately I put there, how can it not work? And then I cross it. Because that's the culture. The culture becomes, come to me, tell me a problem, I'll tell you how it will not work. Hey, anybody can tell me that. Even a child at home can tell me that, how it will not work. Tell me, what resources do you have? You have 30 years over me. You have 40 years over me. You were here before me. Tell me how it will work. I will do the legwork. I am younger than you. I will go and put my energy into it and we will be a team. But tell me how it will work. Don't tell me how it will not work. Anybody can do that. You don't have to do a doctorate to tell somebody else that how it will not work. Go from my office. You basically have burnt a bridge that day. When you tell a junior how it cannot happen, go away. Basically, you're telling them, I'm not going to help you. So good practices in America, in Europe, in many Asian countries which are progressing. Bangladesh is one of them, by the way, very small country. 71, you know that it was East Pakistan. You know that it got separated from us 26 years later. They have the higher GDP than Pakistan. Per capita income is higher than Pakistan. They educated their girls, you know, they become small country. They put everybody to their best talent work. Whatever your best talent is, do it. The cream of Pakistan is sitting in LCWU. You can move mountains. I tell you that much. You can move mountains. And mountains is equivalent to no change. People get into a habit of easiness. You know, there might be some departments which might not be that cooperative, but if you are a team, faculty, you can move mountains. Because why? Universities are run by faculties. Universities are run by faculties. If faculty members are not there, universities don't run. You are a power, but when you're together. So how about one of the person here ID a problem, any problem, and this team give a resolution, and this team tell if that resolution will work or not. You can see your names, and if your name is not there, you have to forgive me for this time. I will get to know you better when I see you in person. Our next workshop will be in person. I will be in Pakistan. So and I will have all of your names, but please it's not easy, but let's try. I should start putting the names, the people who I see, and they were not here. I'm waiting on you to work. I'll not talk. You will. Who wants to tell one problem that needs to be resolved?
Well, as you clearly mentioned and talked repeatedly about the politics at work, so it is a problem, you see. If you allow me to identify the problem, so this is the only problem we are facing.
Okay, that's great. So Rifat has brought a problem at LCWU. It happens in every school, right? And that is workplace politics. Rifat, is that okay if I say that? Workplace
Yes,
politics. Okay.
workplace.
So workplace politics. Okay. So resolution team, you have to come up just like we did. I said you have a punctured tire on the side of the road. Everybody came up with, I will do this, I'll do this, I'll do this, because you have a problem on your hand, right? You have a punctured tire, right? You cannot go anywhere. So you quickly came up with solutions. This is a problem, which is a punctured tire. It won't let you go anywhere. If it keeps going, you have to resolve this, right? Tell me the solution. What will you do? Don't tell what Rifat has to do. Don't say what Anjum has to do, what Saqib has to do. Tell me what I have to do. Your part. So resolution is, this is the resolution. What we all need to do. We are one team. We are all one team. So Saima, Iram, Mahvish, Rafia, Afshan, Rehana, Nilma, Bushra, Saqib, you're all in this team. Any one of you, can you come up? Doesn't matter if this is a good resolution. Doesn't matter. We are talking. We have started a dialogue. Dialogues usually a process. It will not happen today, right? But we have to open up because we are all in this together. We are colleagues. So what is your resolution?
I'm Eram from Department of Chemistry.
Okay,
First, we have to identify the personnel who has started on all this.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you right there. So it's not about the personnel at all.
Okay.
We cannot blame you. We cannot play the blame game because it never is one. So there is a saying: saying is, it's very funny. There are always three versions of the story: his version, her version, and the real version.
Oh, okay.
See,
Then we have to identify the situation.
good, good. We have to identify that what is the frustration, the reason behind, not the personnel.
Yeah.
The reason behind the frustration. Very good. And what is being, how it can be resolved. Okay. So we are getting somewhere. So number one, we need to figure out what is the situation, right? Our tire got punctured. Somebody said, I will say, thank God, now I know that there is a tire punctured, right? Somebody said that. Thank God, now we know that there is a problem. So we are going to work on it. Okay. What are the resolution we have? It's a very easy one. I taught you this in the first workshop. There are three or four things. One, we listen. You all talk to each other and listen to each other, right? And when Saqib says something, and I listen carefully, and then I answer Saqib, and then we got into a dialogue. What is that called? What is the word for that? It starts with a C.
Communication.
Communication. Most of this workplace politics or talking behind somebody's back or saying something that is being distorted is all miscommunication. So instead of, I'm going to give you an example. When I came to MSOE, I was much younger and I was an assistant professor. My first day at MSOE, there was a huge thing where all the new assistant professors were introduced. You know, it was an introduction thing. And somebody came and sat besides me, a very nice person. And that person moved over and said to me, you know, that person, he is the golden boy of the chair. That was my first day. So I looked at that person and I said, why don't you let me find out? Let me find out who that person is. And during lunch, I changed my seat. So sometimes you have to speak a sentence. You have to say to the other person, please don't talk ill about my colleague. That's all you have to say. And then find out who that person is. Communication is a very powerful thing. It's very powerful. How many of you have ever taken another colleague out for coffee, tea? Yes.
I try sometime to take my colleagues out and to bridge the gaps of communication.
That's a very good.
Yes, and it works. It worked a lot.
Yeah.
I admire that. It has some power.
It has huge power because you have to be out of the work environment. So work environment is a very
tense
environment for everyone, right? And everybody has to like. So sometimes you should take a person out who you do not know at all. When I used to live in the hostel as a student, there was a girl in our hostel, and many people started saying that she is a bad girl. You know how people do these rumors and all that. I always used to go to her very deliberately and used to say hi. She was so alone and she was so isolated and shunned out. And the reason was that not that she was a bad girl, it was because she was culturally very different She came from tribal areas. Her clothes were very different. And she used to, she didn't know many things about the city. And so she used to use air refreshener as a perfume. And because of that, people can be very cruel sometimes, and they say, "Ah, she's very bad," you know. And that role in the hostel, you know, sometimes people are not what you hear. You need to have this communication, right? So one thing that I can put on all of your plates, you know, that I ask you to get to know 3 people out of your department, not in your department, out of your department, so that we can start a soft network of you knowing, biotech knowing somebody in Persian department knowing somebody in English department knowing somebody in math knowing somebody in physics department, and so forth. So we have to keep doing that. So I am pretty sure that because I didn't ask you to do more, have you tried to do more? If you have not tried to do more yet, it's time to do more. So you don't have to do 3 because it takes a lot of time. Do 1. And do 1 a month. That means you know 12 more people in 12 different departments in 1 year. These kind of things are a process. Start that process. Nobody will start that process. Gul will not start that process, but Anjum can. Rifat can, Saqib can, Noreen can, Saima can, Saira can. You can. So don't worry, oh, how many Rifat did and how many Anjum did. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. Just worry about yourself. Did you make 12 friends in 1 year? And if Rifat make 12 and Anjum make 12 in 1 year, I guarantee you LCWU will be a different place. I guarantee, I have seen schools change in 1 year. In 1 year, 12 people per person, different departments. You need to know all about their goods, their skill sets, and do a project with them. You will see that your whole workplace will, because it's a nucleus, it's like a crystal. It starts from one place and it starts like spreading. Just like bad things spread, unfortunately, bad things spread faster. But just like that, good things spread. And they spread a little slower, but they are very powerful. So, resolution is not to go after the personnel. The resolution is to go after the reason and eliminate the reason. And you can eliminate the reason by knowing the person. How are we doing? I have only one more slide for you because I would like you to talk a lot more. So again, your names are there, right? And I reverse the roles. So this team now come up with ideas. For example, you can come up with student-teacher club activities, right? And resolution teams tell how can we involve administration, teaching, and helper staff and students in those club activities. Is there a poetry club? When I was at LCWU, we used to have Baatbazi, like our life depends upon it. We used to, and it included Punjabi and Persian and Arabic shares. And we used to memorize them, and the teams were like, one team give a verse, where that verse finish with that letter, the other team give the verse. And both sides, there used to be teachers and students and staff. We used to like stay in the nights learning verses. कि मुझे L से इतने याद, लाम से इतने याद हैं, मीम से मुझे इतने याद हैं, बे से मुझे इतने शेर याद हैं. That's a very constructive activity and bring people closer. All those people, do you know all those people who do shairi at LCWU? You should. Do you know how many people can sing? You know how many people can play guitar, piano? Where are your clubs? Start making clubs. Every club should have full professors, assistant professors, associate professors, students. Let students do all the leadership. Stay back. You don't have to take the role of you don't have to like ride the horse all the time. You have done your doctorate. Let students ride that wave, and their like fun will come out. Their skill sets will come out, and the thriving atmosphere. Why do you think people say, oh, Harvard, oh, John Hopkins, Princeton? Do you think it's because of their labs? They have oldest buildings because of their atmosphere. It thrives for scholarship. It thrives for stewardship. So when you do a mushaira, when you do a club, you make a Shero Shairi club, you make a reading club, translation from one language to another language club, any other like tennis racket, badminton, Ludo, art club, of course, make the world's longest scarf, like knitting, put it in the verandas of Lahore College for Women, and everybody can come and like knit few things and go. That's it. Just that scarf gets longer and longer, and these kind of ideas should come from you, should come from students. And students are the leaders. And who are you? You are the stewards. You have the stewardship. You are the stewards of their talim, of their, of their skill sets, and literally raising LCWU in the nation as like the top university where the atmosphere thrives and actually produce those women that Rifat said that we need to produce, we want to produce, we thrive to produce. Does it make sense for all of you? If there are questions or if you do not agree with me, just out loud say it. It's perfectly okay. We are having a dialogue, right? And then how can this experiential learning can come to your classroom? That's where tracks start changing. So you have Shero Shairi, the Persian department is involved, Urdu department is involved, Punjabi, English department is involved, and now you bring that experiential learning. All those kids who will take, let's say, participate in Shero Shairi, not Harjeet. Harjeet is not important. Kaun jita, kaun hara, that is enough. But if you go and participate, you will have extra credit, 5 points on the final exam. Simple. So that is also a change. People say, oh my God, so-and-so is like giving 5 points to her students just for doing Shero Shairi. Yeah, because students should do Shero Shairi. They should. They should know that there is a beautiful Persian, beautiful Urdu, beautiful English department in LCWU. Plus there are science labs and biotech thriving there. There is engineering, there is computer sciences. You know how many project computer sciences can bring to different departments? Thousands. But you have to be together. We are in this together. Student awards is another thing. If there are no student awards at LCWU right now, that has to change. Who is your valedictorian last year? Do we have a valedictorian at LCWU? Valedictorian is the girl or the boy who has the highest GPA in entire LCWU. Then there should be department valedictorians. That who is the department valedictorian? Then there should be person who has done most social service. These are all students' awards. And there should be best alum award. Who is your alum who has thrived and gone somewhere and become a CEO of a company? Have you got that alum back and give a talk in your class? If you have not, think about it. That link has to be made. And as a result, what will happen is that the stagnant water need to change into the flowing water. Stagnant waters always smell. Stagnant waters do not let anything grow. Flowing waters help the birds, help the humanity, help things grow. Fresh water. And you and me as teachers need to be fresh waters for all the incoming students when we will become the stewards of them, and not fight about leadership among ourselves. Leadership is fluid. Leadership has to stay fluid. Everybody should get a chance for different kinds of leadership. If you make all these clubs and societies, people can lead them, like they can be the stewards of the students, so they can be student advisors, they can help them with bringing funding. There's so many professional activities that will help. But if we will only say no, we will only do like science is science and nothing else, then students we produce, alums we produce will be of the same mindset. That mindset has to change, the whole mindset. You have such beautiful vision, such beautiful mission, such talented faculty. My God, we just have to work, learn how to help each other. And that will happen, that starts with me. Like I say how I am going to help Saqib, but not by saying how Saqib can help me. That is not a good start. But I can tell Saqib, hey, I learned about this grant. It is awesome. Do you want to do this with me? And if Saqib is junior than me, then I'm helping him. But I cannot tell Saqib, why are you not doing this with me? That's not a good start. Does it make sense? Okay. Now I'm actually going to just not talk, and I'm going to have your input and your dialogue, and then we'll call it a night. Let's talk. You guys talk. Okay, Saqib, I'm starting with you because I can see you right there. Go ahead. And then it's Anjum, it's your turn because you didn't say anything tonight.
Again, it's wonderful talk. From today's meeting, I arrived one idea that we should be having a strong social network in between ourselves at least.
You got it.
And then we can have the broader the sphere, but initially we should come into the circle of the social network, so we can have to understand each other in a better way. We can help each other in a better way, and this is very good thing. Actually, जो आपकी assignment थी that now I am realizing that was wonderful because but लेकिन अभी वो कोरोना की वजह से हम उसको fulfill नहीं कर पाए. But in future that would be wonderful that we need to create a social circle through which we can work for the betterment of the university. Inshallah.
Awesome. Okay, Anjum.
वो जो न्यू आइडियाज के बारे में है ना, मैं जब यहाँ ये कुछ महीने पहले ये सीट मैंने ली तो मैंने कुछ कुलीग्स से भी डिस्कस भी किया, बल्कि हमारी चीफ लाइब्रेरियन शायद आज हमारे साथ शामिल नहीं, उन्होंने हमारे शुरू के कुछ सेशंस लिए हैं, उनके साथ तकरीबन मेरी को 2-3 घंटे की एक गुफ्तगू भी हुई। शायद मेरा एक ख्वाब है उर्दू वालों से भी कि हमारा यहाँ एक स्टडी सर्कल होना चाहिए। 1-2 दिन मैंने ख्वाब में देखा भी कि उसके लिए कोई एक मुनासिब जगह कौन सी होनी चाहिए। क्या हम अपने बिल्कुल जो हमारा फोटोकॉपी का है जगह, वहाँ सामने कॉपीज करवाने के लिए स्टूडेंट्स आएंगे तो शायद वो उनके वो बच्चे जब कॉपीज के लेंगे तराशे तो जो है वो उसके बाद वो देखेंगे कि सामने कुछ लोग बैठे हुए हैं, कुछ चाय पी रहे हैं और साथ कोई गपशप कर रहे हैं। फिर मैंने सोचा नहीं वो कैफे के पास होना चाहिए या कोई पुरसुकून जगह होनी चाहिए, नहीं कहीं बाहर होना चाहिए, नहीं ये उसके लिए पहले तो वो प्लेस था होगा कि उसके लिए कोई जरूरत नहीं है किसी को डिस्टर्ब करने की, जस्ट आप कुछ कर दें कि देयर इज अ स्टडी सर्कल फॉर स्टूडेंट्स, teaching and non-teaching staff. We should sit there मतलब राउंड अबाउट 2 or 3 o'clock या हम सुबह के टाइम बैठ सकते हैं। हम एरिस्टोटल को, प्लेटो को, गालिब को, हाफिज को एंड इवन द ट्रांसलेशंस, स्टूडेंट्स को हम एक या स्टूडेंट्स को, कोलीग्स को हम कुछ एक चीजें जो हैं वो उनके जीरोक्स जो हैं उनसे शेयर करेंगे इंटरप्रेट करने की। आप क्या समझते हैं इस पोइट्री को? अगर आपको कुछ इसमें पोइट्री का, उसके बाद उसमें जब ये शुरू होगा तो फिर मैंने ये भी सोचा कि देयर शुड बी, मेरे पास बहुत सारे पैसे होने चाहिए कि मैं सबको एक एक कप चाय पिला सकूं।
वेरी गुड।
ताकि वो चाय पीते हुए ये सिर्फ ये वो नहीं होगा, ये नहीं, ये एक लंबा ख्वाब था कि वो सिर्फ चाय पीते हुए सिर्फ वो एक बोर्ड डिस्कशन नहीं रह जाएगी, वो वहां सिर्फ दिल वाले हाजिर होंगे, वो दिल की बातें करेंगे, जिसका जो शौक होगा वो शेयर करेंगे। अच्छा फिर ये होगा कि ये एक टी क्लब बन जाएगा, ये एक डिस्कशन क्लब बन जाएगा, ये एक स्टडी सर्कल हो जाएगा। इससे आगे फिर थोड़ा सा होगा कि लोग कन्वर्सेशन करेंगे, वो जो चीजें आपने पिछले कुछ 6 महीने से सुनी है अब उसके ऊपर आपके रिव्यूज होंगे, और रिव्यूज जब आप देते हैं तो वो आप दिल से देते हैं, आप खुद को डिस्कवर करके देते हैं। जब आप अंदर से कुछ सोच रहे होते हैं तो फिर आप कुछ बोल रहे होते हैं, और जब बोल रहे होते हैं तो फिर आप लिखते भी हैं, और जब लिखते हैं और लिखने के लिए कोई जरूरी नहीं कि वो आपका सब्जेक्ट जो है वो कोई लिटरेचर जो लिखा जाता है वो एक्चुअली आपके अंदर से
So you are cutting a little
दिल
bit.
में खीज़त व क्या दिल से निकलता है और दिल पे जाके असर करता है। वो चीजें जो होती है ना वो आपको कहीं किसी टाइम में आपको आपके अंदर से खूबसूरत सा एकदम माहौल होगा, वो एकेडमिक्स का हिस्सा भी नहीं होगा, एजुकेशन का हिस्सा भी नहीं होगा, प्रोफेशनल पॉलिटिक्स कुछ थोड़ी देर के लिए भूल जाएंगे, लेकिन वहां से कुछ आइडियाज जरूर निकलेंगे। और वो अपनी यानी वो स्टडी सर्कल है, वो किसी चीज से रेलेवेंट नहीं। ये एक ख्वाब है। इवन मेरी सजेशन भी है कि हम थोड़ा सा टाइम निकाल के अगर उसको स्टार्ट भी करते हैं, जब हमारी ये सिचुएशन जो है वो बिल्कुल नॉर्मल हो जाए, कोई भी इनिशिएटिव दे सकता है किसी के ऑफिस में। तो ये एक बड़ा है मेरा तो एक ड्रीम।
It's a beautiful dream. Don't let go of this. It's a beautiful human dream. But I only thing I would just add to it. It is perfect. The only thing I want to add to it is find out the talent among faculty. Find out faculty has so much other talents, like some sing, some play something, some are very good at playing cards, find students' talents also. Every teacher in their class should ask that, what else do you do? What do you do when you're not here? So that will help your circle center. So Sumaira's hand is up. So Sumaira, you go. Thank you, Anjum. It was beautiful.
थैंक यू मैम। आपके सवाल पर पहली बात तो मैं कहूँगी हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी हैं कि हर ख्वाहिश पे दम निकले, तो मेरा तो दम हर सांस में ही निकलता है। आई हैव गॉट सो मेनी थिंग्स ऑन माई हेड एवरी टाइम गोइंग ऑन, लेकिन अभी के लिए जो मैं कहना चाहूँगी वो ये है कि बीइंग अ रिसर्चर, बीइंग अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ मल्टीपल डिसिप्लिन्स माई सेल्फ, मैं ये समझती हूँ, एंड बीइंग अ हिस्टोरियन नाउ स्पेसिफिकली, मैं ये समझती हूँ कि हिस्ट्री बिलोंग्स टू एवरी डिसिप्लिन. But we are still stuck with the history of political side, that is political history of, let's say, Pakistan, political history of the world, specifically Europe, so on and so forth. I believe, being the head of history department, I think that we should give this a multi-dimensional touch. If not, I'm saying that if not in more depth, then at least to a cursory extent, we should be able to introduce different disciplines into history program, like to begin with science, to begin with Persian, specifically. Why? Because we have a rich
History of science is
archival
so
record.
important. Yeah, history of science itself is so important for science students.
We have just initiated our one of the courses for PhD programs. We are soon going to launch our PhD program, and I have designed a course of history of Islamic science, which should be taught to our PhD students. And I am also looking forward to do some collaborations with the Persian department with reference to understanding the nuts and bolts of Persian language. Because historians can develop a narrative, but that narrative can be developed only if the students are able to learn and understand Persian language. Similar is true for Punjabi and Urdu, so on and so forth. So languages, first of all, I'm actually looking for languages. Secondly, another aim that I'm still aspiring for is the cultural heritage side. We have introduced our course in the BS level, which deals with archaeological heritage conservation in Pakistan, and our students next week are going to are going for an internship with the museum for 2 weeks, and this internship is actually a requirement for our coursework at BS level. But I also look forward to be able to give it a practical shape at in the long term planning, as well as we submitted one of our proposals to the Higher Education Commission, whereby we wanted to make a collaboration with one of the UK's best institution which work for conservation areas.
That's awesome. So again, I mean, what you just said, Sumera, it is basically only solidifying, and what Anjum said, it's only solidifying that how much talent is sitting in LCWU, right? What I am trying to do here is, you are very smart people, right? They say teachers are the hardest students. Just like doctors are the worst patients, you know. So what I'm trying to do it here, I'm your colleague, what I'm trying to do it here is that I am trying to sway you towards experiential learning, like out of the classroom. What Anjum said, sit under a tree, have a cup of tea, and let it happen. That's where all the juices flow, when students thinking, oh my God, that is possible too. Because a lot of students all over the world, not only in Pakistan, when they see you, they do not see a person. They don't. And therefore, there is a disconnect there also. When you make a club, when you make kya kaha Anjum aapne, the study circle, when you make a study circle, when you make a club, when you make a consortium, when you become the steward of the student talent, then they see a person in you suddenly. Do not be shy in telling your journey. Have you told your students your journey? No.
Yes, many times, every time.
That's very good. That's very good. So all teachers should. You go to your classroom, you tell them. If you were poor, you say, hey, I was very poor once. I worked very hard during my PhD. Now I'm here. You can be too.
Yes.
So showing them the person behind the teacher face, and also being the steward of their talent. That I am here for you. All of us are here for you. Look, I have a club where there are people from history, Persian, chemistry, physics, biotech, math, engineering, CS. The students will go, oh my God, because they will never meet those teachers otherwise. What if like that teacher was the one who was supposed to make a difference in their life? So that only can happen when there is a network among us as teachers. Otherwise it cannot happen. One time somebody told me, why do you always work in a team? Somebody said, why do you always work with assistant professor? Why do you always work in a team? And I said, because I show by example. If I work in a team, my students will work in a team. If my students work in a team, my alums will work in a team. If my alums work in a team, my country will work in a team, because they are the ones who are going to go out and work. Does it make sense? Right? So who else? So we are touching 2 o'clock, but we can still take few more comments from you guys.
I think strong leadership is very necessary.
Who is talking? Sorry, I can't see you.
Daira from sports department.
Open your camera, Saira, please, so that everybody can see you. That's what we are doing. We are networking here. Awesome. Awesome. Walaikum assalam. Now you talk. Go ahead.
I am saying that leadership is very necessary for teaching development.
Okay. What kind of leadership?
Transformational and transactional both are necessary for sports department and educational enhancement.
Are you in sports department?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So tell me how supports can be a part of every classroom. Tell me that.
Different class sections should be divided.
How can you take your experiential learning of sports into every classroom?
By making different class sections.
Let's say they are not in sections. Let's say Sakib's students are with him and Anjum's students are with her.
Activities.
You want your sports to make a difference in their classroom. What will you do?
Different coaches, different trainers, different sports instructors should be arranged for class management. For class students, all the classes should take part in sports.
So do they right now?
Sometimes they are taking part. Sometimes they are busy in their educational activities.
So it is not compulsory for everybody to have sports.
Till then, it is not compulsory for all of them.
Okay,
but
I'm not saying to make it compulsory, because making it compulsory means that you are pushing them to do something. So,
Yes,
so what I'm saying is that we should think about ideas, how the sports can be part of experiential learning, right? Because there can be projects like biotech projects, that how the genomics and proteomics, if there are any biotech people, or metabolomics changes before and after the exercise. That small project can like change, like it can be a paper published later on that data. So something like that. I would say there are a lot of talent around you, so you should like make networking with other faculty to bring the concept of sports into the classroom. Did I lose you, Zaira? Okay. So some people have to go. I totally understand. We are just having a dialogue and discussion. So this is, I mean, this, I am very grateful for being here. I'm very grateful to be part of you. LCWU is very personal for me. I am an alum from there, and I really would like LCWU to be one of the top universities, not only nationally, but at international level. Your name should be known. The way I say Princeton, you know, because there are many, many only women colleges in America also, very high caliber, and it's a process. So we will continue this dialogue, and we will, after these workshops end, we will like start a new series, you know, which is like, now that I know you guys better and we have done this journey, then we will like start a next journey, because it is an LLL. Okay. Thank you for all of those who have talked today. It takes a lot of courage to bring all these things forward, and I'm very lucky to have a chance to conduct these workshops with you. Thank you so much.
We are
हम
also
सब
lucky to
हम
have
सब
a
भी
chance
बहुत
to learn
नसीब
from you.
कि आपसे बात कर रहे हैं.
Thank you. I really look forward to these. You know, it's very strange because my husband makes fun of me. He says, at 10 o'clock in the night, who gets ready? And I say, I get ready because that was my school. And I like these people very much now. So I'm really looking forward to meet many of you when I come to LCWU this summer.
Inshallah, inshallah.
Inshallah.
There is a good news. There is a good news for the participants that our next session will be physical, inshallah. Inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. Hope for the best. Thank you so very much,
We
Dr.
really appreciate your kind concern and kind effort.
Thank you. Thank you. I am having a lot of fun with you guys and I'm learning a lot of things.
It will be really very inspirational while meeting you in person. It would be like that we are drinking water direct from the fountain.
Thank you. I really look forward to meet you as well. But
Inshallah, inshallah, we will be there and looking forward to see you soon.
इंशाल्लाह इंशाल्लाह डॉक्टर रिफत और बाकी जितने भी हेड्स हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं इंशाल्लाह एक मीटिंग होगी फॉर्मल वीसी साहबा के साथ हमारी रिसोर्स पर्सन की भी. इसके अलावा अगर आप लोगों के जहन में कुछ आइडियाज हैं डॉक्टर साहबा से मजीद बहुत अच्छे अच्छे लेक्चर्स लेने के लिए तो वो भी प्लीज आप हमसे जरूर शेयर कीजिएगा क्योंकि हम उसके लिए एक एजेंडा जो है प्लान सेट कर रहे हैं इंशाल्लाह. हम चाहते हैं कि हम उनको बड़ी मोहब्बत से और खुशी से और उनका भी यहाँ पर विजिट बहुत अच्छा रहे. इंशाल्लाह आप सबकी दुआओं की जरूरत है.
all be well. We are on a very good we are on a very good path.
इंशाल्लाह
And
इंशाल्लाह.
all the talent is there, so we will do it together.
हमने भी आपको जाने नहीं देना.
I think the best way to welcome her कि आप उनके आने तक एक क्लब का जो है ना वो इनिशिएटिव ले लें. एक क्लब आपका इंट्रोड्यूस हो जाना चाहिए. Under the tree or under the roof, wherever.
आपकी सुपरविजन में डॉक्टर रिफत वाज द एक्चुअली मुझसे पहले ये बहुत अच्छे तरीके से डीएफटीआई को लुक आफ्टर कर रही थी और हम बहुत अच्छे दोस्तों की तरह से अभी भी इनके आइडियाज को लेकर जो है वो चल रहे हैं. इनके कुछ आइडियाज अभी पेंडिंग है
अंजुम कि देखो टैलेंट भी है और स्टूडेंटशिप भी है. देखो ना वो नजर आता है एक्सपीरियंस में. यू नो आप उसको मतलब उस टैलेंट को वैल्यू कर रही हो तो ये तो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है. लेकिन आपको बहुत माशाल्लाह माशाल्लाह. मैं टैलेंट तो सारा एलसीडब्ल्यूयू में बैठा हुआ है. ऐसी बड़ी आपको पता है कि मैनी कॉलेजेस में जब हम जाते हैं तो ये प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता. प्रॉब्लम तो ये होता है कि आपके लोग जो हैं वो तो स्किल ही नहीं है, स्किल सेट नहीं है. यू नो तो ये तो बड़ा मतलब we will do this journey very very.
And Anjum, thanks to due to this forum, we have now a big group of friends and supporting hands to each other. Thanks to Anjum and thanks to Afshan that we are now a larger group of people as friends.
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह इंशाल्लाह. और हमने अब इस बॉक्स के अंदर से बाहर निकल के भी बहुत इनोवेटिव और अच्छा सोचना है इंशाल्लाह.
So Anjum, we will call it a day. And do you need to talk to me? And
Dr. Gul, I think it's very late. You can take rest.
How about
हम हफ्ते फिर इंशाल्लाह एक मीटिंग कर लेंगे.
Yeah,
इंशाल्लाह.
I won't be able to do. But
Thank you so very much.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz everybody.
Allah Hafiz.